It's working this time.
Hi, friends. It's Miss Tracy
And Miss Hannah.
from Smith County Public Library, and we have some monster stories to read to you today because we are making a new and awesome craft. It's called a worry monster.
He's very ferocious.
This is our worry monster.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't picked his name yet.
No, not yet.
But we're gonna. And you're gonna make a worry monster too, and we'll show you the cool thing about it. So first of all, have you been worried? We've been kind of worried.
Mm-hmm.
We had a COVID scare. There's so many other things to worry about. Is there something you're worried about today, Hannah?
I'm really worried about my homework that's due tonight.
Oh man, Hannah's in graduate school. So Hannah's worried about homework. Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna write it on our piece of paper, and we're gonna feed it to our monster.
Mm-hmm.
Nom, 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 nom. Put it right there in his brain.
Worries are his favorite food.
Yeah, we don't have to worry.
Nope.
He's worrying for us. And the cool thing is, we'll also write down a happy thought. I love that the sun is shining today. And I'm going to put that in my backpack. So my backpack's going to be stuffed with happy thoughts, see? And the monster's eating my worries. So when I put in a new worry, whatever it is, I can pull out a happy thought and focus on that. We want you guys to make your own worry monsters. And you'll get a kit that looks like this. A bag full of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Your worry monster will already have a backpack on his or her back, but you've got to give your worry monster a face. We give you all the stuff, and there's 5 steps of instructions for what to do. So that's our newest, latest craft. And the cool thing is, I think everybody could use a worry monster. Mm-hmm. Preschoolers can help design their worry monster. Elementary school kids can make it a little more perfect. And you know what? Teenagers have big worries too. They can fill this thing with all their worries. So we encourage all our teen friends to come on over and make one too. All right. These are worry monster bags, and you will call the library beginning next week, which is the 25th. Beginning the 25th, you'll call and you'll come and pick things up. Now, you ready for stories? We have 2 really good stories for you. I hope you can sit still long enough for 2 books. Mm-hmm. I sure hope. Here we go. Let's ring our bell. Everybody gather around. Put your hands like this so you're not talking anymore. Mm-hmm. And you click them forward like so. Then you open and close them like a book. Read, read, read a book. Travel anywhere. Worldwide, you decide a book can take you there. All right, that's how it goes. Now I'm going to start. This is the shortest one, but I love it. I read it a zillion times to my kids. Frank was a monster who wanted to dance. It's written and illustrated by Keith Graves, and it's published by Chronicle Books. All right. Frank was a monster who wanted to dance.
I know I could boogie if they gave me a chance.
Look at his house.
Meow.
He's watching Soul Train.
Mm-hmm. That's where boogie is in your soul.
So he put on his hat and his shoes made in France. Then he opened a jar and put ants in his pants. Okay. You guys ever done that at school? Maybe someone's accused you of having ants in your pants.
You're just trying to dance.
That's right. He drove to the theater.
Yahoo!
Look at his cool car.
With his eyeballs.
And jumped on stage. Then he danced like his shoe size instead of his age. Frank shook his shoulders. He strutted his stuff. The audience screamed. They couldn't get enough.
Check this out. Bravo! Fabulous! Wow!
Frank did a cartwheel.
Yippee!
Frank did a flip.
Yow!
Suddenly, his head began to unzip.
Uh-oh.
Out flopped his brain.
Yuck!
Look at everyone scream. They're like, oh no! Which plopped on the floor. Eek! Which loosened his eyeball, which rolled out the door.
Meow.
That reminds me, your monster kit has a variety of eyeballs. You can choose 1 or none or 150. Not that many, but you know what I mean. And after his arm fell out of his sleeve, the horrified audience started to leave.
Ah, run! Poor Frank's just Whoops.
I think I might have left when his brain fell out.
Yep.
But Frank kept dancing. He said, what the heck? Sorry.
Okay.
And he laughed as his head fell off of his neck.
Poor Frank.
He said to himself with a one-eyed glance,
I might be a monster, but man, can I dance.
May we all have that much confidence. Okay, this one is great. You're gonna love it.
All right, this one is called The Monster's Monster, and it's by Patrick McDonald, and it was published by the Little Brown and Company. All right, let's see. Grouch, Grump, and Little Gloom and Doom thought they were monsters. There's Grouch, Grump, and Little Gloom and Doom.
The two-headed monster?
They're twins. They lived in a dark monster castle, high atop a dark monster mountain, overlooking a monster-fearing village. All things necessary to be a monster. Their little monster heads were always filled with big monster's thoughts. Smash, crash, and bash! Huffing and puffing, mad about nothing, their 10 favorite words were, no, 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 and no! Every day they argued over who was the biggest, baddest monster. Who could complain the loudest? Who could throw the most terrible tantrum? Who was the most miserable? These debates always ended in a brawl. One day, they decided to settle the argument once and for all. Grouch put some tape, tacks, staples, and glue. Grump found some gunk, gauze, and gobs of goo. Gloom and Doom grabbed bolts, wire, and a smelly old shoe. Together, they would make a monster, the biggest, baddest monster ever. You see, there's the creation process. They hoisted their creation into the stormy sky, where, bam! A lightning bolt sent a powerful jolt through the creature.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh no. The monster started to twitch. He's alive! Alive! The little terrors exclaimed. The monster roared as he stumbled around, tearing away his bandages. Big! Little Gloom squealed. Bad! Little Doom squeaked. Monster! They all cheered together. The growling giant reached toward them, and then, in a deep, booming voice, he said his first words.
You ready?
Go. He crushed onto his chest with a tight squeeze. Don't go. Monster wiggled his stubby monster fingers and tapped his clunky monster feet. He looked around in wonder and threw open a window. The room filled with warm, early dawn light, bird songs, and dewy fresh air. Monster smiled and let out a little giggle. What do you think you're doing? Cried Grouch. Monster bounced about the room, gently greeting the many bats, rats, spiders, and snakes around him. No, shouted the group. You're supposed to be a monster. But Monster didn't think he was a monster. He didn't think he was anything. But thankful to be alive. Oh, look how thankful he is. Just enjoying the moment. Monster became still, sniffing a hint of sweetness in the morning air. Suddenly, he let out a roar. And smashed through a dungeon wall. Ha ha! Grunch laughed. He's finally coming to his senses. Yes, shouted Grump. He's off to make mayhem in the village. It's going to smash, crash, and bash, cried Gloom and Doom. Oh, they're all so excited for all the terror he could cause.
In the monster-fearing village.
The rascals dashed after Monster, trying to keep up with his long strides down the mountain. Monster! Monster! They cheered after him. The village bakery was just opening for today when Monster plowed through the front door. Oh, he's going to terrorize the bakery. Grouch, Grump, and Gloom and Doom anxiously waited outside the shop, peering through the dusty windows. Big, whispered Gloom. Bad, whispered Doom. Shh, shh, begged Grump. I want to hear the howls and yowls. There was a tense quiet, and then finally from inside the bakery they heard, Thank you. Monster appeared, clutching a white paper bag. Then he turned and headed out of town towards the beach. After him, the trio cried. Monster! Monster! Monster slowly knelt down on the soft, cool sands. Grouch, Grump, and Gloom and Doom collapsed in a heap around him. As they tried to catch their breaths, Monster gently patted their heads. He carefully opened the bag and gave each of them a warm, powdered jelly donut. Grouch, Grump, and Gloom and Doom were speechless. But then they remembered what their big, bad monster had said. Thank you. Monster looked at them and smiled. They smiled back, and together they all started to giggle. Grouch, Grump, Little Gloom and Doom, and their new friends sat quietly on the shore, watching the sunrise. And the seagulls playing, and the seagrass dancing, and the ocean glistening. And no one was thinking about being a monster. The end.
I love that story.
It's such a good book.
So they created him to be a big, bad monster, but he was just grateful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here we go. Put your big, bad worries inside of this monster, the one you make. And then have your grateful, happy thoughts in the backpack. Then send us pictures of what your monster looks like.
We're so excited to see them.
Yeah, I just can't wait for your creation. So give us a call. Come by starting on Monday. Now, today is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, today's Friday. Starting on Monday, which is the 25th, you can come by and get your monster kit and start working on your monsters. We can't wait to see what you do.